But before we do go, we got to get into the final topic of today's show, and it's a big one. Stock up, stock down. That's not 3 up, 3 down. It's 5 up,
down.
5 up, 4 down. That's what we're calling it.
5 up, 4 down. So yeah, in this segment,
Mathemagenics.
kind of taking a look at some of the early returns, some of the performances from some of these guys, and we're gonna look at their numbers and see if it's something, nothing, or everything. We're gonna start with our first guy, and that is a stock up, and we're talking about Miggy Rojas. Getting Miggy with it. He's 6 for 13 so far. He hit his first home run of the spring today, and look, this is a guy who's at 39 home runs in 9 years. Is his early start? You said you liked his defense. I mean, his defense is
smooth,
unbelievable. What are your takes on Rojas? Is it something, nothing, or everything that his start so far this year?
I mean, one of the first things you asked him when you talked to him at FanFest was, does it reinvigorate you to play with a team like this, to get out of that situation? You didn't say it in these words, but get out of that situation, play with a team that really has championship aspirations, as Noah might know how to say it. This is a dude who's playing loose, playing happy, playing with a butt ton of confidence. I am very high on him as well. I believe the stock is up, and I believe we've said this for the last couple of weeks. Any offensive value he can add is just icing on the cake. But they're putting hella icing where there might be too much icing on this cake right now if he does this well. And yeah, it's spring training. Cactus League stats don't mean anything. Guys go in there just working on a fastball, for 40 pitches early in spring. But he's connecting on him. He's looking better. He's looking good. And the fact that, he turned down representing his country potentially for the last time in his career to stay with this club because what he understands this job means. I don't even remember what the question was, but man, I'm all in on Miguel Rojas. Is good up.
Yeah, and you consider that
the kids are gonna love watching him at short. By the way.
Yeah, when you remember the fact, too, that just a few weeks ago, he was supposed to be an upgrade to Hanser Alberto, right? He was supposed to be a better utility man. Now he's living every baseball player's dream. He's a starting shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? Shout out to G-Lux, get well soon, my man. And I think that
Luxy,
when you consider that he's on a World Series contender and he has this prominent role and he's healthy again, you can feel really good about Miguel Rojas and his hot start. It really, I would say, more like competent start. It's not like he's out there raking, and I think that fans out there shouldn't look for him to put up insane Trey Turner-like numbers. He's almost like, it's like Dasani water, right? I mean, it's like you don't ask for Dasani water, but it'll do the job. It'll keep you hydrated, right?
It'll keep your throat wet, huh?
Yeah, it's not like you're getting like Fiji water, anything like that. It's solid. He's going to get the job done. I think Dodger fans will fall in love with his defense, especially when you consider that you're going to need a more athletic defender. And like we talked about a few weeks ago, I think the benefit, too, is his tutelage of a Miguel Vargas. But moving to our first stock.
One thing, another note from Noah. 0 strikeouts so far from Miggy Rowe.
That's big. And yeah, he's
bat to ball.
Yeah.
Dave bullish on the bat to ball.
Bat to ball, and so he's never been a guy that's really had an issue striking out too much, but
no shift. And he's a guy who likes going opposite field, going up middle.
Go up the middle.
That's
gonna
be
that's a great point.
Be huge. Anyways,
it's a great point. And look, if he stays healthy, I mean, that wrist injury really sapped any hard contact that he had last year, and that's really the big key for him is that he does stay healthy because he was the contingency plan. He was the Band-Aid in the event that Lux got injured, and it happened before even the regular season. Yeah. So we'll see.
Elderly.
He's just turned 34, so it's a little long in the tooth for a guy at that position, but he can absolutely play it at an elite level, really. But going to our first stock down, you talked about him a few minutes ago, and it's JD Martinez. So far, he started this spring 2 for 18. No extra base hits. Did have a hit today. Throughout his career, he's had some slow starts. Back in 2019, he hit 200 in spring. He ended up having an all-star season, hit 36 home runs. Is JD Martinez slow start something, nothing, or everything, Clint?
I would lean more towards nothing right now because this is a veteran. This is a dude who's been there, done that for a very, very long time. He's getting his West Coast legs under him right now. I'm fine. Talk to me. Ask me again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's a veteran. I mean, it's spring training. You don't even know if he's going up there and just working on something.
Yeah.
And he's the guy. If there's one guy out there that's going to use spring training as his training ground, as a blank canvas to go up there and try to work some things out, it is JD Martinez. But do you think he's going to have a better year than Justin Turner?
Well, I mean, if Justin's face is okay.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, rip JT. I don't know. It's really tough to say. I mean, Justin Turner is going to go play in Boston and play 81 games with the Green Monster. That bodes pretty well for the swing profile of Justin Turner. I think JT's going to have a really good year. The power might not be the same as JD, but I don't know, man. It's tough. Honestly, I would believe, given the scenario and the situations, I really do believe JT will have a slightly better year than JD.
You do.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think he's going to provide more muscle in the middle of that order. Last year, tied for 4th with 43 doubles. I think he'll have a little bit of a power surge. He has a lot riding on this year to really reestablish himself as one of the elite hitters in the game. He's reunited with Robert Van Scoyoc, his buddy, as Chris Taylor said, and obviously Mookie Betts. So I think it's nothing at this point, but he doesn't look very comfortable at the plate. But like we talked about earlier, he's probably working out some
he's
things.
He's that guy who's very much working on a specific swing profile right now because he wants to be able to drive the ball the opposite way. And if you're able to drive the ball the opposite way, even Chris Taylor's talked about this. If you're in that pocket, in that swing path, that swing zone, to be able to push the ball the opposite way, then you're able to fire and pull some homers, pull some dingers, whatever. So again, nothing to me right now.
And I just like how he has his full name on the back of his jersey, J.D.
Technically
Martinez.
not his full name; it's 2 initials. But
He's
when
got
Rome,
like the first and last what he's
semantics.
known as. Okay, so next for
But
who's
because there's all these other Martini.
yeah,
on the
good
team.
point. Good point.
Yeah.
So next for stock up, we've talked a lot about him on
just
today's
dingers.
show. James Outman, a 1375 OPS, a home run, and a triple. Is his hot start something, nothing, or everything?
I think it's something because he's playing for a job. When you talk to him in the offseason, he seemed like he was in a really good mental spot. Like he knows that his game is going to speak for him. And coming out and starting well, honestly, combined with the Trayce Thompson slow start, I think that just does very well for him on the mental side of things. That's all he's got to worry about. He's just got to worry about playing. The job is going to come to him. Whether it's in LA or not, there's going to be an opportunity. But that means a lot. That means something for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a new King James in LA, and it's not LeBron James. It's James. No, I'm just kidding. It's, first I compared him to Tom Brady. Now I say he's the new King James. Okay, maybe a little overhyped, but
It's the king of LA right here, by the way.
King of LA. But no, I do
Represents
think
every single fan.
I would say it's everything in the sense that look, if he had started slow and he was striking out at a 40% clip, he was struggling against breaking balls, there might be a universe where he's not even making this team. I think there's a world where if he really struggled that he would have a chance. So for him to make this team, he has to sustain this for an entire spring and really just not be what our friend Sean say, be undeniable, right? Mr. Unlimited. So he has to really make it to where they can't leave him off this team. But next we're going to talk about another stock at 16 bombs. But
next stock down
is Trayce Thompson. So far he's gone 1 for 13 with a double, 5 strikeouts. What are your thoughts on Trayce Thompson, Clint?
This is another something, everything or nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's something. I think at this point it's something. It's still early in the spring. I think the team is going to give him a decent amount of leeway or runway to get it figured out. But it's something, just because of how mental baseball is. And he's been here and done that where, yeah, he's been pretty good at the game, but he's also struggled to keep a job in this game. And like we were saying earlier, he sees sharks in the water right now with Jason Heyward and James Outman looking at that roster spot, that guaranteed roster spot, because Trayce is getting like 1.2 mil or something like that. Chump change to these Dodgers.
No, absolutely. And I think that the big thing with Trayce Thompson is it's almost like a little confirmation bias. It's almost like everyone said that, it was a fluke last season. It was a feel-good story. Cinderella Man is going to turn into a pumpkin. And so far they're saying, look, it's just what we had predicted, right? He's 1 for 13 with a double and 5 strikeouts. I do still hold out hope that he's going to figure things out because one thing he did last season was punish mistakes. And another thing he did too was he hit the ball very, very hard. He even told us that he was a little more streaky than he wanted to be. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm wishing the best for him. But like you just mentioned, sharks in the water, I think there is some added pressure now that there is a little more competition. Let's say they brought back Cody Bellinger and paid him $18.1 million and he struggled at the plate early on. Maybe he gets an opportunity early, but if Heyward and Outman can produce, I think it's going to be tough sledding for Trayce Thompson. But next for our stock up, is we are going to Yanni Hernandez. He's on fire. 5 for 12 with a double. Nice defense, great base running. Is his hot start something, nothing, or everything? Because I'm very high on Yanni Hernandez.
I think this is absolutely something because when they traded for him from the A's, I think it was from the A's, right, in the offseason, it was a clear indication that they were hoping this guy would be the Hanser Alberto of 2023 because Hanser in 2022 wasn't much better than a part-time reliever. Did not do very good in his opportunities. To me, what he's doing is absolutely something. Whether or not it means he has a job on the opening day roster or not, that will play out over the next 2 to 3 weeks. But I think so far early in spring, he's making nice plays. He's showing some range. He's showing some bat to ball skills and all of this. 100%. This is a guy who's going to make a difference. In my opinion, he's going to make a difference by May at the latest.
Yeah, I mean, some of these games, spring training, you're a little casual about the way you watch him, but every time I look at the screen, it seems like he's on base. And I think that is going to play up as a potential depth piece. I like how he got those Jordan ones cleated. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Yanni Hernandez. I think that he's a guy that has an opportunity with this team, especially with the injury to Gavin Lux.
Noah's a big fan of
Yanni Hernandez. Okay, so next for stock down. Chris Taylor, so far 3 for 16, 4 strikeouts. Last year we talked about his strikeout issues, struck out at a 35.2% clip. His bat, 7 points below league average. Talked about his $16 million contract for this season. Do you think that Chris Taylor's slow start is going to affect him?
No. It's CT. He's a lot of been there, done that. So all he's got to do is really he's just got to find some sort of thing in his swing, and he'll be pretty good. I think that's it. I'm okay on CT. He'll figure something out, and even so, he's gonna be on this roster either way. So it's like kind of a moot point, you know. It's like, yeah, I know how to fix the business, but whatever, you know, you made this decision on your own, so he's gonna be here.
And I always value your opinion when it comes to defense. I mean, you love the D. I mean, like, as far as like
big
the way
fan of the D,
of the D. So like, I mean, defensively, what have you seen from him? Want to get your take on that?
Honestly, I haven't watched enough of him this spring, but we know what he can do when he's locked in a position, serviceable or above. And we've seen him take over as a starting center fielder for this team. We're still talking CT, right?
Yeah.
We've seen him take over the starting center fielder of this team. We've seen him make insane plays in center and in and in left field. We've seen him make quality plays at shortstop without like a whole spring to ramp up to the position. A guy who's drafted as a shortstop, played shortstop all the way up through making his debut with the Seattle Mariners. So if he is going to end up being, the kind of defense first guy, it's an expensive defense first guy, but I think you're not going to be upset to see him out there on defense. I would much rather I don't think we would have had that Trey Turner booted ball running out to deep left center field for some reason, or left field like we saw in the postseason.
Rough.
Anyways, I don't want to bring up the postseason, but I think people will enjoy the defensive profile of Chris Taylor. I think you're going to like watching the defensive profile of Miguel Rojas a whole lot more. But, CT's kind of the backup. Here's the contingency plan at a lot of spots, including second base, because we haven't really talked about Miguel Vargas, and we're not going to do that today. But we haven't talked about him a lot. We haven't even seen him swing a bat yet. We've seen him get toyed around with Zach.
We got a couple more for the stock up, stock down, and
we got one more, right?
Yeah, well, one stock up, one stock down.
Oh,
so the stock up is
no, we already did Yanni.
Oh, I know. We didn't do Jason Heyward, did we?
Did we? Oh, you skipped Heyward.
Yeah, skipped Heyward.
God.
So Jason Heyward,
script.
4 for 12, 2 home runs. Kind of last question on him is, do you think that his unlocked swing, do you think this new and improved swing is going to be sustainable and it's going to bear fruit throughout the year? Or is he going to kind of revert to really his past seasons where he's really struggled?
Baseball is a game of adjustments. The league will adjust on that swing. This new swing is helping him get to that high ball a little bit more. I think the league will catch up and find a way to beat him. So if he can adjust, it will be a successful season for him. I think he can open the season pretty successful, and that will give him some runway because he is Jason Heyward. He's a one-time All-Star. He's a World Series champion. He's a veteran. He has all this presence with him and all that. But it's going to come down to the ability to make some changes and don't revert back to your old ways. But
and that's what he said. He said the ability to make adjustments in real time on the spot to kind of avoid some of those cold streaks. But last one for the stock down is Victor Gonzalez, who has posted a 1.08 ERA. He's given up 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 earned runs, in an inning of a third. Just was able to get 1 out. His ERA is higher than Cody Bellinger on 4.20. And yeah, he's clearly hasn't figured things out since his success in 2020. But do you think it's something, nothing, or everything?
With Victor, I think it's a bit of it's a hybrid of something and everything. We haven't seen this guy be good for a while, and he's a guy before he made his debut struggled almost to quit the game. Did walk away from the game because of inability and essentially, that getting to him, that, you got to worry about the mental health, and that messed with his mental health. Walked away with the game, eventually came back, had success, became a World Series champion. I think you could walk away from that career feeling pretty good. He's not going to. I'm not saying let's hang up the spikes just yet, but, Jason here says Gonzo's going to get DFA'd, unfortunately. He's one of those guys that's in the top 6-7 spots of people who could get DFA'd when they need a roster spot. But he wasn't bad in 21. He had after he got hurt, everything kind of unraveled from there. So if he's healthy and he's feeling good, I'm not going to let one outing completely write him off, I guess, from this roster. But it is something to be very, very, very concerned about, especially for a team that needs more than the lefties they have, because right now it's Vesia. When we watched him, he looked a little uncomfortable with the pitch clock. Looks like he's kind of rushed. I'm sure that's something that'll adjust. But it's just Vesia and it's just Caleb Ferguson. You need one more lefty, in my opinion. Whether it's up, down, whatever it is, I think Victor still has some options, so we're not going to see him go anywhere. But something to be concerned about. Is
this true? Says Mr. Ross at 23. Victor asked to be on Team Mexico. Team Mexico was like, nah, we good. I didn't even know that. Was he trying
I don't think that's I think
that was a joke. Yeah, I think it was a joke.
There's more people that have said that in the chat, saying that he wanted to pitch for Team Mexico and they didn't want him. Ooh. Yeah. But, yeah.
Man, they let 97-year-old Oliver Perez pitch
that's
instead?
What I'm thinking, geez, that's pretty rough.